Before any destination is reached, before the first ticket is scanned, before a single bag is packed, a journey begins in silence. It begins in a glance, in a passing thought, in a quiet pull that tugs at the edge of our everyday life. Sometimes we don't even notice it. A word, a scent, a sound in another language. Something shifts, almost invisibly. We look at a photo and wonder what it smells like there. We hear a voice and wonder what it would feel like to understand it. A part of us starts to drift, not away from life, but deeper into it. That's where every journey truly begins. Not on a plane, not at the gate, but in the moment the world starts calling and we quietly answer. There's a kind of travel that doesn't start with movement, it starts with language. Long before we board a plane or step into a new country, we begin to listen. A new word, a different sound, a phrase we don't yet understand but feel drawn to. We open books, apps, notebooks, trying not just to learn, but to connect. Language is more than a tool. It's an invitation. When we practice, even in private, we're reaching towards something outside ourselves. A culture, a voice, a rhythm, something unfamiliar that slowly becomes part of us. We don't just study words, we begin to imagine the people who speak them. At Kristal Travels, we believe language is more than preparation, it's transformation. We don't learn just to speak, we learn to feel. Because language holds more than meaning, it holds emotion. A shared laugh in a language not your own, a gentle correction from someone helping you try. These aren't just lessons, they're moments of becoming. When we speak, even imperfectly, we're saying, I care enough to try. We're not just passing through, we're showing up, open, human, and willing to connect. Language is its own kind of journey. It asks us to slow down, to listen closely, to sit with discomfort and keep going. Every new word is a small act of courage, not just spoken, but felt. We scribble phrases in notebooks. We repeat them under our breath. We trace unfamiliar letters, learning their shape and their spirit. It's not about fluency, it's about presence. In learning how others speak, we learn how to see. A sign becomes more than decoration. A phrase becomes more than sound. It becomes a thread, pulling us closer to the soul of a place. We don't learn a language just to navigate. We learn to enter, to step inside a culture, not as a tourist, but as a guest. When we speak with someone in their own language, even if only for a moment, we create something rare, shared presence. We ask for directions, and something deeper is given. A smile, a gesture, a story. These small exchanges become the real map. They lead us through markets, through laughter, through moments that no guidebook could predict. A mispronounced word becomes a bridge. A question, even a clumsy one, becomes connection. Because when we try to speak, even imperfectly, what we're really saying is, I want to know you. I want to belong, even just a little. Speaking is an act of respect, a quiet way of saying, I see you. I value where you come from. Language shows we didn't just arrive, we arrived with intention. We came not only to look, but to listen. In a shared word, there's trust. A local offers food. We respond with gratitude in their language. A shopkeeper explains a phrase. We repeat it with care. These are not transactions. These are moments of human exchange. We may not speak perfectly, but perfection was never the goal. The effort is the message. It says, I'm here not just to see the world, but to feel it with you. Even one word can shift everything. A simple hello in the local language, and a stranger becomes a friend. A hesitant thank you spoken with sincerity, can dissolve the distance between two people. These are not grand speeches. They are soft offerings, signs of willingness. And in return, something beautiful happens. A pause turns into a smile. A smile becomes a shared moment. We've seen it at street stalls, in markets, on quiet walks. A local tilting their head, pleasantly surprised. A small laugh when we mispronounce, followed by kindness when we try again. These are the moments that stay with us, not because they were perfect, but because they were real. When we speak, we aren't trying to impress. We're trying to connect. And often, one word is all it takes. We don't just want to be understood. We want to connect. We don't travel just to see new places. We travel to be part of them, even if just for a moment. That's why we speak before we go. Not to impress, not to perform, but to be able to laugh at a cafe table, to join in the rhythm of the local conversation, to ask how someone is, and truly care about the answer. A menu becomes more than food. A conversation becomes more than words. These are the moments we remember. Not the tours, not the photos, but the laughter we shared with someone we would have never met if we hadn't tried to speak. Travel becomes real when we stop pointing and start participating. That's when a place opens up, not just to our eyes, but to our hearts. Language brings us closer, not just to people, but to the places themselves. A street feels more familiar when its name rolls off our tongue. A neighborhood opens up when we can read the signs, not just see them. Saying a word out loud in a new place, even quietly, creates memory. It sharpens the moment. It tells the brain, this matters. Keep this. A conversation in motion, a shared glance over a translated phrase, a word scribbled on a napkin. These small moments root us in the now. When we speak, we participate. We don't just float through a city. We land in it. We stop being observers. We become part of the story, one spoken word at a time. At Kristal Travels, we speak before we travel, because we believe words can carry us farther than planes. Language isn't just a skill, it's a way of seeing. It makes the world more vivid. We learn a phrase, and suddenly, a city becomes more than buildings. A conversation turns a stranger into a guide. A few simple words turn a moment into a memory. Because some of the deepest journeys don't begin with boarding passes. They begin with intention, with curiosity, with a word spoken softly, honestly, bravely. We don't always get it right, but we always try. And in that trying, something opens. A doorway, a connection, a moment we carry long after the trip has ended. Because travel isn't just about where we go, it's about how we go. And sometimes, the most powerful way to begin is to speak.